this is a work in progress. It's just some nonfiction and essay that I'm working on that will probably eventually be part of some memoir. I'm sitting on a folding chair in a stuffy, crowded ballroom at the New York Marriott, trying to keep my eyes open as I gaze at the makeshift stage where a presenter in a flowing skirt and dark blazer extols the benefits of energy medicine. It's 2007, and I'm here in search of a missing piece to add to my arsenal of fitness modalities that I use on myself and my clients. As I struggle to focus on this vibrant, business-like woman, what she's saying, the thought that I've wasted hundreds of dollars and am about to blow a long weekend on this nonsense buzzes incessantly in the back of my brain like a cell phone alert that I can't figure out how to disable. The teacher starts to lead us through our first exercise, tapping a series of acupressure points on our head and upper body with our fingertips. It's supposed to boost our energy, but afterwards I feel even more depleted than before. I consider walking out, wondering if there's any way for me to finagle even a partial refund. At the first break, I approach the teacher to say that her exercise seems to have made me feel worse. Assuming she won't have an explanation, I hope to start building a case for a refund so I can blow off this whole boondoggle with less guilt about the money. She looks at me with clear eyes and zero judgment as I lodge my complaint and says, "Oh, that's because your aura is collapsed." She can't be serious, I think, but she gives me simple instructions on how to fluff my aura and tells me to redo those tapping points after I finish the aura fluff. She doesn't look like a crunchy granola type, emits no aroma of patchouli, and her forthrightness convinces me to give her prescription a try. So, in a relatively empty corner of the conference room, trying to ignore how silly I feel, I fluff my aura and tap those points again. I'm not bursting with verve afterwards, but I stay awake without trouble for the rest of the day and find my ability to pay attention is improved. Until that weekend workshop, I'd been a completely Western-minded, science-based practitioner. With an undergraduate degree in geology and a master's in science journalism, it was a circuitous route that carried me to the life of a fitness entrepreneur. But I'd been an exercise fanatic since high school and an education junkie my whole life. So eventually, I accumulated the certifications needed to open my own personal training business. And I had remained firmly rooted in the physical world the whole way. If you couldn't touch it, measure it, or see it with your own eyes, it wasn't real to me. A yoga certification, which of course was the most science-based and fitness-oriented one I could find, with minimal mentions of the spiritual side of the practice, triggered the first tremblings of a shift in the bedrock of my worldview. Breathwork and meditation, both solidly supported by science, creeped into my regular programming on the back of yoga and began to crack me open to the reality of chi, or prana, a life force energy that animates all of us. And so, eventually, I'd landed in this Introduction to Eden Energy Medicine weekend workshop. On the last day of the workshop, with my doubts thinning, but certainly not gone, I volunteered to go up on stage and have another teacher demonstrate a technique on me that he said could cure phobias. At that point, my claustrophobia had been blooming for months, making my daily commute from Long Island to New York City an endless nightmare as I tried to negotiate the crowded subways and Long Island Railroad. 3 weeks after being the subject of that demonstration, I'm standing on the packed E-train platform at 53rd and Lex. Someone bumps my backpack, knocking me toward the bright yellow edge of the platform that usually sends shivers through me. Seconds later, another rider shoves in front of me from the right to peer down the tracks, pushing me slightly off balance to the left and into another commuter. I look up from my magazine, annoyed and impatient. I look around. Wait a second. Here I am, standing on this platform, annoyed and impatient, but I'm here. 3 weeks ago, had I spied a platform this crowded from the escalators on the way down, I would have promptly turned right around, ridden back up, and fought the crowds upstairs for a cab in the open space instead. But here I am, relatively unfazed in this small, crowded space. At that moment, as I realized that the energy technique that had seemed somewhat ridiculous when I did it on stage must have actually worked, my worldview exploded. The next day, I bought the book and started reading it and signed up for energy medicine classes. Since completing my 2-year certification in Eden Energy Medicine in 2011, I've continued my study with a variety of practitioners read voraciously on the subject, and now regularly incorporate energy techniques into my own life and my work with fitness clients. I'm completely convinced that true healing power lies in the place where our physical and energy bodies overlap. As interesting as the mashup of fitness and energy work is, the latest combination I'm exploring is writing and energy work. In 2012, I returned to my writing in a serious way when I began work on a memoir. As any memoirist will tell you, delving into your past in a search for meaning can be downright destabilizing, especially if you're writing about childhood trauma. Without energy work, I never would have had the courage to begin writing seriously again, much less have a completed manuscript and a bunch of published articles. Whenever bouts of writer's block, procrastination, self-doubt, or confusion hit, energy work gets the cursor moving across my screen again. This Sunday, I'll host my very first Writing and Energy Work support group at my private fitness studio. To my happy surprise, it filled up within hours of my impulsively posting the idea on a few of my online writers' groups. As with the life detours that veered me from science journalism to fitness, and from fitness to energy work, my destination is again unclear. But this time around, I'm trusting my instincts more than before and avoiding attachment to any particular outcome. I'm approaching this new fusion of my latest passions with a spirit of discovery. Thank you.